No, I love talking, dude. Hey, it paid for this. Here we go.
We are now being joined by AJ McKee. We'll begin with a few questions in the room. Go ahead.
Congratulations. Enjoy it while it lasts.
I guess first things first, are you excited to fight that guy?
Oh, yeah. And your mother.
All right. Well, what just transpired? Can you give me your initial thoughts and reaction on what we just saw?
He went out there and did his job, you know. Nothing I didn't expect. He went back to his bread and butter. He rocked Sanchez a little bit and saw an opportunity, like he said. He got around that neck, and that was it.
And from your perspective, I mean, when you watch him, you sound like it's so nonchalant, like, oh, yeah, that's what I expected. So when you analyze him from your perspective, what do you see that you think you will be able to do to top him?
Well, the difference is Sanchez is not me, and Pitbull is not Sanchez. So for me, the fight is irrelevant until one of them gets to where I'm at. So now that he's also in finals, now I can begin to analyze and assess what I'm going to do in the fight. You know, I'm a lot bigger, a lot longer. I got a 75-inch reach. There's no way he should get anywhere near me. If he goes out there and fights the way he fought that fight, I promise you he won't get near me. He's going to have to create openings, try to get on the inside. You got to bring the fight to me. I know you got the belt, but at the end of the day, I got the reach. I got the advantage.
And I think if you ask fans and maybe the promotion from the business side, when this thing started, I mean, I don't think they could get a bigger final fight than you and Pitbull. So from your perspective in building your star power, how much do you love this matchup?
17-0. You can go back to my very first interview. Patricio Pitbull has been the man, you know, nothing against him. He's got great accolades. I already said I'm going to be a champ. So for me, like he said, well, he said he's going to beat me, but man, like I said, it's the new era. You know what I mean? He's saying my time's over. My time's just begun. So we'll see.
And throughout this, have you in a way been rooting for Pitbull because of, you know, just like what we just talked about, the finals, like McKee Pitbull, it had to happen.
Definitely. You know, it's a fight the fans have wanted for the longest. On top of, he's underrated. You know, he is an outstanding champ, from beating Chandler to his accolades, his credentials, his record is phenomenal. But at the end of the day, no one has a win over me. No one has a belt with my name on it, and no one's going to have a belt with my name on it.
And is there any bad blood? I mean, we just heard what his team was yelling and everything. How does that resonate with you?
His teammates ain't shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he has to go in that cage and fight with me. You know, we keep our respect mutual, but if one of his teammates want to mouth off, they can get slapped. You know what I mean? You know, keep the fighting, because there's a different side that you guys don't want to see. So let's keep the respect levels cordial and mutual, because I go 0 to 100 real quick. They don't call me the mercenary for no reason.
and we know how, like you said, 17-0, we know how great you are fighting. You know, how'd you like commentating tonight and kind of being on the broadcast team?
It was surreal, man. Honestly, it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but once I got up there and I got to just open up a little bit, it was fun. You know, I got to see a different side of the entertainment world. I have a feeling that having one foot in that door and showing and showcasing my skills in the entertainment world along those lines, it's going to open up many other doors outside of the fight world for me.
We'll take a couple more here. Donna. Donna, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. AJ, in terms of when the fight's going to take place, the outcome tonight couldn't be any better for you, could it?
No, you know, I'm staying in the gym, staying ready. You know, something my dad's always put in me. To be a champion, you have to beat a champion. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So that's my mindset, stay ready, you know. I ran 5 miles yesterday. So I could fight next week, honestly, if I needed to. Pitbull's talking about, let's fight now. Hey, you'll get your dream and your wish, homie, you know what I mean? So it's time to sit down with Mr. Coker and set this date up and get this action on Showtime, baby.
All right. Thanks, AJ. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
We're gonna drink Monster. Make sure. This Monster right here.
All right, we are now being joined by Patricio Pitbull. We'll begin with a few questions in the room. Go ahead, Nolan.
Patricio, congratulations on the win, man. Could that have gone any better? That was so quick.
Yes, it was a good challenge, but it was very complicated in the training. So it's not this like as you think.
And when you got that guillotine locked in, it seemed like you were the first person to know that he was out. Did you feel him kind of go limp a few seconds before the stoppage?
Yeah, he was sleeping, and I knew that. I told the referee, but he didn't believe it that time.
Yeah, for sure. And this obviously lines you up for a pretty big fight against AJ McKee. Was this the fight that you, coming into the tournament, was hoping would be at the end, at the finish line?
Yeah, it's the perfect final for that movie.
Yeah.
He is undefeated. I'm the champion. You know, let's see what's gonna happen, and I know what's gonna happen.
And I feel like you're starting to finally get the respect that you deserve. People are recognizing how good you are. So to even boost your star power further, do you think this is the biggest matchup that you could have possibly faced off against?
I don't know. I really don't think about that. I know I am the number one in the world, so it's enough for me. I know my records. I know my numbers, my titles, the meaning of that.
And he was in here earlier, and he kind of listed off the advantages he thought he had over you, the reasons that he could beat you. From your perspective, what do you think that? How do you think you can beat him?
It's a fight of 5 rounds. He gonna came to another place that he doesn't know. It's a competition fight for the belt. It's a different preparation. Everything's gonna happen. And he knows my power. He knows I'm dangerous. I know he's scared.
And you know, in the cage after you guys had a stare down, and you and your team and him exchanged words. Is there bad blood involved with this one?
Você tem alguma coisa ruim? It's a challenger. I know he's good, he's young, but I told him to be a complete fight, he deserves to be defeated, and he will be defeated by me. That's what I told him.
And throughout the tournament, you know, I asked AJ this, and he said yes. Were you almost rooting for him, you know, to win, keep winning, and get to this point so that you guys can be matched up together here in the final?
Not really, but I knew it was possible, so I am thinking about it.
And you had some comments about Michael Chandler fighting for the UFC belt. Is it, you know, you said you're almost rooting for him. Is it weird with the rivalry you guys have had to almost be rooting for him in this title fight?
Now he represents me, so it's important. Thank you.
Patricio, congratulations. What a performance. What is it like having the so-called greatest of all time what lightweight that is watching you? Is it any added pressure, or do you not care at all?
Okay, I didn't understand the question.
Sorry, I was just saying basically, what's
who's
it like
watching?
having the so-called greatest of all time, Khabib, watching the fight? Is it any added pressure, or do you not care?
I thought it was me watching me fighting. That's why I didn't understand. So, but I know Khabib was there. I just saw him before after the fight, so I didn't knew that during the fight. I was focused in me.
Yeah, fair enough. How do you think you match up with somebody like Khabib?
I have a strategy for him.
You have a strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah. He always keep coming forward, and I think someone who is going to fight him need to make his step back. That's it.
Yeah. So applying lots of forward pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Pressure him.
Yeah.
Do the same as Gleison Tibau did. You remember that fight?
I remember that
Who
fight.
won?
Khabib won, but it was back and forth, wasn't it? I think even the
everyone need to watch that fight again.
Yeah. Awesome. So is AJ the toughest matchup in your division?
Now, I think yes, because he's undefeated. I think so.
Hey, Patricio. Last time we spoke, you promised me, you said, I'm going to finish him this time. And you both came out. It seemed like you were patient and composed. Did that play out exactly how you trained and how you prepared for it?
In our last fight, I was very fast. I was introducing karate in my game, and I realized that when he blocks all my punches. And I was thinking about that with my coach, Everton Lopes. He's 2 times amateur world champion. And he told me, hey, just be patient and go in the right moment. That was what I did.
Absolutely. And you said AJ is perfect for the movie, right? And I know you said you don't think like this, but with your history of breaking records and your star power and his star power, do you feel this could possibly be the biggest fight in Bellator history?
I don't know, eu não sei se será a maior luta do Bellator, mas vai ser uma grande luta, porque ele é invicto, ele é um cara que foi construído pelo Bellator e tá aparecendo como o número 1 contender, então vai ser uma grande luta.
I don't know if it's going to be the greatest fight in history, but he's been built up by Bellator from his whole career here at Bellator. He's undefeated. He's in the finals against me. So it's going to be one of the greatest fights of all time.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Donna?
Patricio, when will the fight take place? I know that AJ just came in here and said he'd be happy to do it next week. I know that you've not got a scratch on you. When is this fight going to happen?
I can do it now. I'm ready. The cage is there. I am here. He's here. Let's do that.
Eric,
call Showtime. Let's film this. That's it.
Eric, was Henry Cejudo playing an April Fool on Chael Sonnen when he said he was coming back?
Henry Cejudo and Chael Sonnen together is it's hard to tell with those two, to tell you the truth. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm always looking for another belt. So C4 sounds about right to me.
Sean?
Patricio, congratulations on the victory once again, and defending that title. Talk about how this tournament brought out the best, and not only you, but also your fellow competitors. How they had a chance to have the spotlight on them and kind of get built up a bit before you had a chance to take them on in the cage and beat them.
What's your question?
Oh, I was talking about how he embraced being part of this tournament and, basically, having the spotlight on the featherweight division on his competitors, so they got built up as well as he did before he took them on.
Fala sobre o torneio, como toda a atenção estava nessa categoria, divisão, e aí sua divisão recebeu muito mídia, como você sentir dando muito mídia e atenção para a sua categoria, você...
Cara, essa categoria, this division is the best division in the world. We know we have another organization that is UFC, but if you see all these fighters that was in the tournament, everyone is very tough. So I know the best guys are here.
Thank you.
Simon.
Hey, Patricio, congratulations on the win. I just have one quick question for you. I just want to know, how did your training switch up the second time around against Emmanuel?
Como você mudou seus treinos para esse revanche com
It was about patience. It was about strategy. The training was almost the same. I changed just the strategy. That's it. And my boxing is getting better. I know that.
All right. Thanks, Patricio.
Thank you. Whoa!
Next up is Scott Coker. Please press the raise hand button if you have a question for Scott.
I'll be in touch, Ed.
All right. We are now being joined by Scott Coker. We'll begin with a few questions in the room. Go ahead, Nolan.
Scott, Bellator and Showtime, event number 1 in the books. Not too bad, huh? Not too shabby.
Yeah, I think we had some great fights tonight. Some really competitive matchups. The main event, I felt was surprising a little bit. I thought it would be a little bit more third, fourth round. I thought the fight would end maybe at that point, but Pitbull is a beast, and you saw why he is a pound for pound champion for Bellator.
And right now, he is the pound for pound number 1 in the rankings. Where would you say he ranks all times for the fighters that you've promoted?
I'll tell you, that's a really tough question because, we've promoted a lot of great fighters, but, I think he's got to be in the top 2 or 3 because when you think about what this kid has done day in and day out, I've never seen this guy in a boring fight. He always brings it. He always throws power, tries to knock you out, tries to submit you. I mean, he's always advancing his position to win and not just outpoint you by 5 rounds. So he's going for it. And to win at featherweight, the way he's been dominating at featherweight for all these years, even before I got here, and you know, and then win at the lightweight division as well. I think that it's something that is very special, and I think you guys all saw tonight how special of an athlete this guy is, and I'm glad he's finally getting the credit that he deserves. But I think he'd be top 3. And listen, we've promoted some great athletes over all these years of promoting everybody from, you know, I mean, you guys all knew who they are. So I would say top 3, but he's a special guy.
Is AJ McKee versus Patricio Pitbull, like, could there have been a better scenario for your finals of this Grand Prix?
You know, I know that's the fight that the public wants to see. And so, you know, it just worked out this way. I mean, you know, it's not us, it's not the reporters or the promoters or the staff that's getting in the cage. It's those 2 guys. And that first fight in Israel was unbelievable. And, you know, it was a split decision. And, you know, we didn't get that fight, but we got the fight that showed the dominance of Patricio. And now this is the fight that everybody wants to see. And now we're going to get it. And it's for $1 million on top of what they normally get for a purse. So there's a lot of money riding on the line for these kids. And I'm really looking forward to it, because AJ is a guy, honestly, I walked into a rec center and he was fighting an amateur fight, and he was the main event, and it was his father and Rampage Jackson there coaching him. And we had a chat after, and I said, I really like this kid. You know, I'm gonna sign this guy when he turns, when I, you know, eventually decide where I was gonna go when he turns pro. So we signed him, and we built him up over the last 5-6 years. Now he's ready to go, right? So it's gonna be a great fight. This is gonna be a fight that the fans really wanted to see.
Totally agree. And just 2 quick ones from me. Time frame for that? Is there? I mean, both guys had quick fights to get them into the final. You think we're just going to try to turn this around as quick as possible?
Yeah, I was talking to his manager before we broke here, and I said, what are you thinking? And he said, probably June or July. So this fight will happen in the summertime for sure. This featherweight tournament has been going on for a while, as you know, because of COVID. But you know, it'll be such a great fight, and we're gonna promote the heck out of it, because this is a matchup that's going to be unbelievable.
And right before the event started, there was some news that came out that Mike Goldberg is no longer with Bellator. Was there? Can you just kind of give me your thoughts on his tenure with the promotion and his departure?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Mike is he's a friend, and he is you know, he's been the voice of MMA for such a long time, along with Mauro. I mean, Mauro, he's been around Pride with Boss Rutan, and I mean, this is way back. This is, you know, 97, 98, 99. So, you know, at one time we had the 2 best in the planet, and you know, it was a production decision, and they decided to move forward, and that's where it's at. But you know what? This is the kind of business that you never know. I mean, you know, like if there's boxing on one side and Mauro's doing, who knows what will happen in the future? But that's the way that it rolled out.
And tonight, Usman Nurmagomedov had an awesome fight, great debut. He said after that, you know, his hope is to be the Khabib of Bellator. You know, does that excite you to hear that out of him? Yeah,
listen, what I saw was a 22-year-old kid, has a lot of skill, can kick from either leg, either side, has some good punching, and he's going to be a kid that's going to be hard to keep down. And I heard he can wrestle as well. He didn't wrestle a lot. I mean, he didn't wrestle a lot in this fight, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops. And, you know, when he has training partners, you know, like his, like Khabib and his other cousins and friends, and they, you know what it is? It's like, I've seen it happen, because I was with AKA from the very beginning when they started, you know, doing MMA. And when I say with him, I wasn't, you know, part of the gym as far as like being a trainer or an owner. Javier Mendez owned the gym, but I saw Frank Shabamar come in, and I saw Josh Thompson come in, and Mike Swick and Kung Lee. And then before you know it, all these killers were there. Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier. And then all of a sudden this gym just started becoming like a fight factory, because they just push each other. And so I'm telling you, this kid's just going to get better and better. I'm really excited to see what we can do with him for the next 2 or 3 years.
And, you know, you guys had the rankings come out last week. Was there anything that surprised you, A, and B, how much, you know, as a fan, is it going to help with seeing that, you know, 4 and 5 next to people's names when they're watching?
Yeah, you know what? That's the reason why we did it, is, you know, we wanted to make sure that the fans could look at our rankings and, you know, very simply say, okay, who are the fights that maybe we want to see as a fan? And again, these rankings are not done by us as a company. It's done by the reporters. There's 17 of them around the world that contribute to these rankings. And I'm really excited because it's going to make it a lot easier to figure out, who's going to fight who. And of course, some people are upset. But what I'm really excited about is what will these rankings look like when we get the fighters that haven't fought for us yet in here? Like Usman, this is his first fight. Now he'll probably go on the rankings at a certain point. Rumble Johnson, Yo Romero. There's a lot of great fighters that have not fought. That once we get them in here, it'll start moving our rankings around. I'm really excited about that.
Scott, after such a great event tonight, I'm curious, for those that may have missed it, what fight would you go tell them to watch tonight outside the main event, and why?
I'll tell you, there were so many great fights, and there were so many tactical fights that that's a tough one, because like if you're a jiu-jitsu fighter or jiu-jitsu stylist and you really like Neiman Gracie, that fight with Jackson I thought was a great matchup, and that fight could have went either way, and it worked out for him. But I think Neiman will come back. But I think to me that was one of my favorite fights to watch, because it's a striker versus a grappler. It's like age-old combat, right? Back to when this MMA all began. Like, who could beat the striker? Is it a grappler? Is it a wrestler? And so that question was answered tonight, and it went Jackson's way.
So we're seeing 2021 seems to be the year where live sports are coming back. I'm just curious, does Bellator have any plans for 2021 that they can share with us?
I'll tell you, we are looking forward to the day that we can walk into, a stadium and have a packed audience and not have to have social distancing and wear masks and do all the things that we're doing now. But we're going to be very careful about that. And, we are governed by a COVID protocol, division, basically, that has a lot of doctors, has a lot of lawyers, and really we have to do, health and safety first. So that's going to come first. But I was just reading in California, listen, I live in Santa Clara County. It's probably the most stringent county in the whole country at one time. They even had the 49ers had to move to Arizona to play football. Think about that. They couldn't practice outside. They couldn't play outside. And so, when Santa Clara is opening up like it is now, it gives me hope, and I can see light at the end of the tunnel now. And so I think we're going to be patient. We're going to be here for at least a couple months, and then we'll reevaluate. But I don't think it's that far off, to be honest. We're already making, and I can't talk about it, so please don't ask, because we're already making plans about some international fights we're going to put together. And I'm really excited about late summer and going into the fall.
Last quick one for me. I saw you octagon side, sat next to Khabib and Ali Abdelaziz. It looked like you're having a great conversation, lots of laughter, very animated. Any of that conversation you can share with us?
I tell you, it's you have to remember that these, like, Ali manages a lot of fighters, but I've known him, I want to say, like 20 years. I've known him for 20 years, even when he was fighting before. And when I was working for K1, his cousin Karam Abdulaziz was a Egyptian gold medalist wrestler from the Olympics, and we took him to Japan, and he fought in an event that K1 was involved with, and I helped. And it didn't work out for his cousin, but that's when I first started meeting Ali and talking to him, and I didn't see him for like 10 years, and he's become this very powerful manager, has a lot of great fighters. But we go back way before he was still competing at the time. So to me, he's a great old friend. Khabib, honestly, it's like, I'm not sure if you saw Javier Mendez there, but Javier is, I used to promote Javier's fights in San Jose back in the 80s, honestly. And he was one of my students before in traditional karate. And, he's been like a brother for me. So, he trains Khabib, and he trains Usman now. He's part of that whole team. And I haven't seen him for about a year because he's been in Abu Dhabi, or he was with Khabib for the fight. And he's been training in Vegas. So I haven't seen him. So it was like a little reunion, and I would see Khabib in San Jose training from time to time. And so it was just like a little reunion. That's what you saw. But, it was a good time. Mm-hmm.
Congrats on the event.
Thank you.
The ass-kicking machine had a pretty impressive performance tonight against Neiman Gracie. He was calling for a title shot or anybody who's standing in his way. Is that a strong possibility?
I think it's a possibility. Again, I like to go back on Monday and reshuffle the deck, so to speak. But he's definitely up there. I think that we have somebody else in mind right now, and we'll probably announce something really soon. But maybe right after that we can have that conversation with him. But he's right in there for the title mix because Neiman I think was ranked number 2, and so he definitely deserves a shot. Pending our other fight we're putting together.
Awesome. And the last thing for me, I also had a very similar question. There was a lot of amazing fights tonight, a lot of fighters that broke out of the woodworks. Is there anybody outside of the main event that really impressed you tonight?
Yes, there was. There was a fight on the undercard. The gentleman that fought Gonzalez, that fought Roger Huerta. I thought he did a really good job, and I know he has a good wrestling background. So we're excited to see what we can develop with him as well.
All right, we have time for 1 or 2 more here. Jim?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. You all announced Cyborg Smith 2, and I'm just curious your thoughts on that. And how long did that take to put that together? Was that the thought just going forward, hey, this is the match we want to make, or were there other options?
To me, we looked at a couple actually opponents for Cyborg, but Gilbert Melendez, her trainer now, kept calling me and wanting this fight and said, look, last fight, she took it on short notice. She wasn't ready. She wasn't prepared. She feels that she deserves the title, and I'm training her. She's going to be, solid. She's going to look great, and she's going to put up a great fight. So, that's really how it came down. So, Gilbert and I talked about it, and we made the fight.
Thank you.
Giancarlo?
Hi, Scott. Great event tonight. Just curious, it was available for Canadian fans as well here on YouTube. Just wondering if that's a plan going forward, or if there's a TV deal you have in the works that you can share.
I know there's dialogue right now ongoing about where in Canada we're going to finally end up. But in the meantime, I do believe that for the fans to be able to see Bellator even next weekend, that we will open up the portal on YouTube, I believe, for Canada to receive it. So I think that is the plan moving forward.
All right, last one here, Santiago.
Hi, Scott. Greetings from Amsterdam and congratulations on a beautiful night of fights. I have a question about 2 of your fighters coming out of Amsterdam. Can you give us an update about Gegard Mousasi and Denise Kielholtz?
Both of those fighters have matchups already, but we're not ready to announce them, so we're gonna have to hold back on that. But we do have some exciting fights. I love both those fighters. Gegard is, I started promoting him back when in Strikeforce, so he has a very special place in my heart. Denise is another, buzzsaw. She is amazing, and so they will be fighting soon. We'll have an announcement soon. I would say in the next week or 2. We're just locking some things up, but be patient, and I promise you'll be happy with these fights that these fighters will be in.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thank you.